So David, okay, I'm going to start. That was just my start thing.
3, 2.
Yeah. David, I think that one of the most important factors when it comes to our cigars is that people want to learn more about them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our YouTube videos are geared towards having people learn about them. If you haven't checked out our YouTube videos, please do, and subscribe so you could be immediately notified whenever new ones come out like this one. So David has gotten a lot of positive feedback for his very, very educational, instructive, and at some points fun videos. And I thought, why not take advantage of all his knowledge and experience to talk a little bit about these award-winning cigars. I did a video, which as you could see, if you review some of our videos, of the 4 lines in a nutshell. And
right.
Those lines are La Historia, Encore, Pledge, and Allegiance.
Yep.
So now we just want to dig a little bit deeper into the Allegiance and educate a little. So if you guys actually have any comments or any questions, please leave them below, because we do answer all of those specifically about Allegiance or any of our cigars. So David, Allegiance has kind of an interesting story behind it, because it is the first cigar that we make outside of the factory from what we call the Perez-Carrillo series, which is the family series.
Correct.
And my dad was very skeptical, to make a cigar like this outside of the factory, because we had the Encore that got the #1 cigar of the year, the Pledge that got the #1 cigar of the year, and the Historia that got the #2 cigar of the year. So he was a little concerned about not having full control of this process with Allegiance. But it worked out very well, because he went to Oliva.
Yep.
And obviously, you know that when you go with a producer like Oliva and the tobaccos of Oliva, you can't go wrong. It's quite the complete opposite.
Correct.
Excellence. So, David, tell us a little bit about the Allegiance taste profile for those who might have not tried it, or for those who are thinking of trying it, and what you think about the cigar for a beginner or a more seasoned smoker. Who does this cigar, I guess, attract the most, you think?
Well, it's interesting for me. I find that Allegiance really casts the widest net. It's our most approachable cigar in the Perez-Carrillo series. When we did La Historia, there was a very specific wrapper, and there was a thought process behind that. And obviously with Encore, that was Ernesto wanting to show what a beautiful, elegant Nicaragua could be, and moving forward, obviously with prequel. But Allegiance is very interesting that the flavor profiles in it, everybody enjoys. I've given this cigar to so many different people. I've given it from a guy who only smokes Connecticut and mild cigars. He's like, wow, I was afraid, because you guys have it as medium to full, but it didn't blow my socks off, in being uber strong. But I've given it to guys who smoke super strong cigars, like full. And they're like, wow, the flavor profiles, the complexity, everything about it, it was tantalizing. It kept me engaged. I really like it. So it's a very, very approachable cigar. Additionally, when you look at the flavor profiles, it has a nice spice to it, a little bit of sweetness, earthiness. There's sometimes you get a little note of a nuttiness to it, but when that all combines itself together, it comes back to that extremely approachable cigar that this cigar is.
I taste that sweetness. Yeah. I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I can feel it on my lips. It's very
a lot of it has to do with the tobaccos that are in this.
This is an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, which is my dad's most favorite cigar to work with. And then it has Nicaragua binders and fillers. And tell us a little bit about that. I know that these are from the Oliva tobacco farms, which obviously, like I said before, are excellent tobaccos. Been generations and generations.
Yeah.
It's very similar to us as manufacturers of cigars. So tell us a little bit about the tobacco and the idea behind making it in Nicaragua.
So, there's kind of 2 things there. One, let's talk the tobacco. The tobacco, Ernesto, has been working for a long time with the Oliva tobacco part of the business.
That's right.
Which is a separate company from the Oliva cigar side, just so everybody understands. Those are 2 different companies, same family, but 2 different companies. And
Well, the Oliva cigar was bought out, right? So
Right.
it's led by a different family altogether.
Correct.
But I know it's,
yeah.
'cause it's
Well,
the same
I mean,
name,
yes,
yeah.
but when the Oliva family
yes,
had
yes.
Oliva
Right,
itself,
right.
it still was like two separate
Yes,
companies
yes,
in
yes,
their
yes.
eyes, right?
And the family
So-
is still involved in
Family's still involved, all that, yeah. So, he's been working with the Oliva that runs the tobacco side. And he went there and was looking at tobacco. And, this was post, I want to say this was probably started this in 21.
That's right.
And he hand selected everything. I mean, literally, I've been with him on the trips to tobacco buying and went to this place, and the owner looked at me and goes, he spent 4 days here going through every bale, and literally hand selected for the
Yeah.
first round of Allegiance. Hand selected everything from the wrapper to the binder to the fillers that he wanted. Every single piece. It was amazing to hear that.
And went back several times.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure he didn't do it just on one 4-day trip, but yeah. He went back a bunch of times, and he keeps looking at the quality. He keeps going back, making sure it's the same tobaccos. And then the interesting thing was, why would we make? And a lot of people ask this. It's funny. Why would you do, since you make your first 3, Allegiance being the 4th iteration of the Perez-Carrillo series, you made the first 3 at Casa Carrillo. Why would you go outside and make this with another factory? A lot of people who are consumers don't realize what pandemic did to Central America and the Caribbean. And we're a company, whether it's the company here stateside or whether it's the company in the DR, that basically we go by the rules. This is what we do, and we care for our people. We are a big family as a company, and we were having issues with keeping enough rollers at that time to meet the regulations of post-pandemic era. And he's had this relationship with the Olivas for,
Ever.
I mean, like, I think
And
since day one.
also the pledge
And I'm not talking day one of this. I'm talking his day one in
because
cigars.
Also the pledge when it went number 1, the production levels
Yeah.
demanded by that. It made it very hard
Right.
for us to be making
Correct.
a new line there.
So knowing that it was the Olivas and knowing that factory is as good as it is, I think that gave your father the comfort level of, let me work with these people. They can do it the way I do it. And he did. He spent time at that factory. As a matter of fact, the interesting thing, which a lot of people don't know, your dad has a very specific way he likes his cigars coming out of Casa Carrillo to be made. From the bonchero to the rolero, from the person who bunches the binder and filler to the rolero is the person that puts the wrapper on it. He has a very specific process. To keep the uniformity in that process, they taught specific pairs at the Oliva factory to do it your dad's way.
That's great. I mean, and the current owner, one of the family members of the current owners of Fred, is also very close to my dad. Different generation from my dad, but very, very aware of quality and has the
Absolutely.
utmost attention to detail. So they have a lot of similarities.
Absolutely.
And I know that they get along very well.
Yeah,
and,
they do.
And they love talking about tobacco. So
Yeah.
I think overall it was the right place to make this cigar. And
Absolutely.
also a lot of people are loving Nicaragua, right? A lot of consumers are, Nicaragua's hot, as they say. So that was also another, actually my dad's in Nicaragua today, looking for some more tobaccos and visiting the couple factories we make cigars with. So it's been a very positive approach, I think. And I guess last but not least, if you were to say anything, I guess, about the cigar itself, you talked about the taste profile. There's also the idea that these cigars can be smoked by beginners,
absolutely.
seasoned smokers. And I guess it's been recognized as a very good cigar by a couple of different publications. Cigar Aficionado gave it the number 5 cigar of the year in its top 25, and then Cigar Journal gave this one the same size, the Confidant, the #1 new cigar. And that is tailored more to the European markets.
Yep.
So not only is it a favorite of beginners and seasoned smokers, it's
Yeah.
a global sensation, as
Yeah.
they might say.
Yeah.
So definitely try the Allegiance. And like I said, subscribe to us so you could get notified of all of our newer videos. And let us know what you think. If you have any questions, here we are to answer them. Try an Allegiance.